So the first thing I need to do is get these tomatoes on paper towels. And you want to slice them. You don't want them too thin. You don't want them too thick. Maybe just like that, about a quarter of an inch thick. And they don't have to be perfect because we're going to cook them down and they're going to get soft as they cook down anyway. But right now, I need to drain them on some paper towels. As we know, tomatoes have a lot of moisture. So you don't want your pie to be super wet. And by the way, we're making tomato pie. During this time of the year, when I'm getting tomatoes out the yin yang from my garden, this is one of my favorite dishes. So I'm going to lay these all out and we'll be right back. Okay, we've got them all laid out on our tray. Now I'm going to take some kosher salt. If you don't have kosher salt, you can use another type of salt, any salt that you have. Kosher salt is going to do two things. One, it's going to season our tomatoes. And two, it is going to draw out the excess moisture. Now, if you don't want to use the salt on your tomatoes, you want to be salt-free or anything like that, you can skip the process, but don't skip the draining on the paper towels process. Still, you need to let them drain. This just helps draw out that extra moisture. So I'm going to do them on this side. Then I'm going to turn them over and we're going to salt the other side. And as you can see, some of my tomatoes are very light. They're not quite as ripe as some of the other ones. This is what I had coming out of my garden, so I decided to use them. They are also various varieties of tomatoes. So you can use different varieties of tomatoes or you can use all of one kind. Now, we're going to set this aside so we can prepare our crust for the pie. Now that our tomatoes are over there sitting and releasing all that water, it's time for us to get our pie crust prepared. Now, I've already made up the pie crust, as you can see, and I will leave a link to that video in the description. So right now, we're just going to roll this out and get it in our pie plate. Okay, this is what our pie shell looks like. And we're going to put the egg wash in there. Okay, so now that we have our actual crust made, we need to brush the bottom with an egg white wash. So we're just going to use the white. So we want to separate our egg. Go ahead and you want to brush the bottom of it with your egg white, the complete bottom and the sides. This will prevent your pie from being soggy. And this is works for any pie actually, but custard pies, fruit pies, things of that nature. If you don't want a soggy bottom, use an egg white wash. You don't need to put any milk in it or anything else. You just need the egg white. It kind of seals it in. Now, we're going to bake this as is, just like this, in a 375-degree oven for about 2 to 3 minutes. And while our pie is in the oven, we want to finish crumbling up our bacon and chop up our green onions. Now, because these are tomatoes and they are extra watery, even though I sealed the crust, I'm going to put just a small layer of cheddar cheese right on the bottom just to help protect that crust and keep it crispy. We do have more cheese that we're going to add to that, but we have to mix it up first, and we'll get to that in a few seconds. Next, we're going to layer it. We're going to start with tomatoes in the bottom. As I said, and as you all can see, I have a variety of color, kind, and texture when it comes to my tomatoes that I have chosen. I just banged my crust. That's okay. It'll go right back together. So I'm going to start by putting my tomatoes on the bottom. And again, this does not have to be perfect. From there, we're going to put some of our crumbled bacon on. And again, with this, as with anything else, you can use as much or as little as you like. Next, we're going to go in with some green onion. Our basil we got from our yard earlier. Washed, chopped, fresh basil. It's wet, so it's kind of sticking to my hands. Fresh oregano. Now you want to go in with your seasoning. I am using my Pam's Prep all-purpose seasoning. If you don't have it, which you should, you can use garlic powder, paprika, or any of your favorite seasonings. Now we're going to go in with another layer of cheese. I have cheddar cheese and I have some smoked Gouda, and some smoked provolone as well. Just a thin layer. We want to keep all of our cheese for the top half of our tomato pie. This smells amazing already with those fresh herbs in there. Oh my goodness. And from here, we're going to continue to do the same thing in layering it. So I did not add any of my seasoning to the middle layer. I only added to the bottom layer and the top layer. And this time I'm adding it directly onto the tomatoes because we want to make sure that our tomatoes are well seasoned. Go in with the rest of our green onion. Our basil. And if you don't have fresh basil and fresh oregano, you can use dry. Our crumbled bacon up here. Now for our last bit of cheese, we are actually going to mix our cheese with some mayo. Trust me on this. It's just going to make it nice and creamy. You don't need a lot. About 2 tablespoons. And just mix this together. Then we're going to spread it on top of our tomato pie. Okay, now we need to spread it on there. You're going to have to be gentle with this and spread it gentle so you won't remove the bacon and seasoning from all around it. And this may not look like enough, but it will be. We just have to smooth it out. Okay. We're going to bake this in a 375-degree oven for 1 hour. Leave it covered for 30 minutes, then remove the foil. We are all done. I let it cool so I can show you all. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh my goodness. Oh, it smells delicious. Yes. Oh my goodness. Ooh. Let me grab a plate so we can do our taste test. Okay, let's go ahead and cut into this wonderful pie. Oh my goodness, smells delicious. Crust, broken crust. Nice flaky crust. Ooh. Ah, look at that, guys. Look at that. Ooh, doesn't that look amazing? It smells delicious. Ooh, we need smell-o-vision. Oh, okay, this looks delicious. Oh my goodness. If you are new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today here in my kitchen. I really do appreciate each and every one of you all. Take a second and subscribe to the channel. Turn on that notification bell so you won't miss anything. Returning subscribers, thank you so much. And channel members, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Okay, don't forget to check out my other channels at the Scaredy Cat Gardener, where all my ingredients came from today. Pam's POV for more tips, tricks, and hacks in other areas, and my relaxing stories. Okay, let's go ahead and have a bite. Mmm, mmm, mmm. First of all, mmm, there is nothing like a homegrown tomato, period. So you have homegrown tomatoes, homegrown basil, homegrown oregano, homegrown green onions. Ooh, only thing in here not homegrown is the cheese and the crust. And it is amazingly delicious. I wish you guys could taste this. Wish you guys could smell this. The herbs and the taste is just nothing like it. Ooh. So I will see you all next time. The good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. Bye-bye.